Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. Today, we're going to be zooming right in for our discussion on the most recent release of The Flash. I don't know if you guys have been waiting like 6 years or something for this movie to come out.
Just about.
Like 10.
Well, actually, technically, yeah. They announced it way back in like 2014, 2015.
After the first season of the show.
Yeah.
Dang, that's nuts.
So, yeah, so it's been like 8 years minimum, I think.
Well, better late than never. We'll get into that a little bit further. But before we get right into it, for any of us who are just listening for the first time, I am your host, Xavier, and I'm joined by our regular Popcorn Watchlist panelists in Danny, our info guy.
What's up?
We got Anthony.
Hi, I'm Barry.
And you have Zach.
I am not Barry.
So you're the reverse me?
The other
reverse Barry.
You're the alternate multiversal, not Barry.
I am E-Reb. It's Barry backwards.
Thank you for the explanation.
Barry reverse.
All right, so let's get into it. Danny, hit us with some facts about the movie. It came out, we're recording this a little bit after, but it's about the middle of June. It came out, give us that big rundown, stars, director, all the good stuff.
So, it actually came out June 16th, so not too long ago. But going into some of the box office numbers, it opened up to 55 million.
55 million, guys. Domestically.
Yeah. Which is not a lot.
It's not hot. Talking about the fastest man alive.
Not for a superhero movie.
Yeah. But before we go into some more of the box office numbers, we got Ezra Miller starring as The Flash, Sasha Calle as Supergirl, Michael Keaton returning for Batman.
Oh yeah.
And then it is directed by Andy Muschietti, which also did the It franchise.
Yeah, he did the It movies, which is surprising. Coming from horror, then you have this thing.
Yeah.
Which overall, like we'll get to like what we think about it, but good on him for getting out of a comfort zone, I guess. Freaky horror stuff that traumatizes my sister to this day.
Had some interesting choices, which we'll get into later.
No, for sure.
So at worldwide box office, it made 210 million so far, which
it's been 2 weeks.
What's the budget of the movie?
Budget is 200 million. Oof. So
and
it just made.
So you have to assume
budget.
You have to assume
marketing
was like 150 or something like that.
150
well, I'm
million.
sure the marketing wasn't as much, just because. Well,
all of the
they've been pushing.
Ezra
they've been pushing
stuff.
They've been pushing it a lot on any of the Warner Brother networks. Like I saw a lot of commercials during like the NBA finals, like on TVNT and TBS, and alongside any Max commercials. The one to watch for anything apparently.
But also they didn't have like a press tour. They really didn't have much to like back it up other than like the early releases that they did.
And like one red carpet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like right before the movie, they had a bunch of like free early screenings and early releases, which that may have, I don't know. They were trying to build up hype, obviously, but I guess it backfired.
They had it at CinemaCon a few months ago.
And all of those early showings, people were saying that it's great, it's fun.
Yeah. And I guess it didn't matter.
Yeah, because the movie came out at a rough point in the history of the DCEU films.
Yeah.
If it would have come out maybe when it was supposed to originally, it would have done a lot better. But it's just poor timing.
You have to remember, there were people before those early screenings. They were touting this movie as like one of the greatest superhero movies made.
Even Tom Cruise jumped on that bandwagon.
I think that was all like a marketing play. I think they probably paid him money or something. Because Stephen King also came out of nowhere of hiding. And was like, this movie is great.
You know what they didn't pay Tom Cruise in? Premium formats.
IMAX. Get bumped.
By Christopher Nolan. So sorry. Man.
Comparing this to some of the other box office numbers recently for DC, I mean, it's just not good at all. Like Black Adam, which
people thinking that was sort of like a flop.
Yeah, that one made 391 million. and then Shazam 2.
That's Worldwide.
I thought it made 500 million.
No.
It was 300?
391.
Oh my god.
The hierarchy of the DC universe is going to change.
Worldwide.
Yeah. And then we got Shazam 2, which wasn't too bad of a movie, but
it was entertaining. It just did not make money.
Yeah, it only made 132 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And their budget was 125.
Damn.
That's why, Zaslav is
made very little.
banking on
So they lost money.
No, sorry, they lost money.
Whatever the marketing was,
And then, earlier in 2021 and 2020, you had the Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 1984, and Birds of Prey, and those are all under 200 million, pretty much. Suicide Squad made 167 million with a 185 budget. 1984 made 166 with a 200 million budget. And then Birds of Prey made 200 million, but the budget for Birds of Prey was only 82 million.
Okay.
So that was okay.
It's like,
But,
two of those were COVID movies.
Yeah.
So you could also watch it on HBO Max for free.
And that's what probably hurt it too.
The Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman 84. To clarify. But what may not have, honestly, I'll have to bring the elephant in the room up, is that what may have hurt a lot of the chances of this movie was all the Ezra Miller controversy and all the basically like state of Hawaii, like looking at a manhunt for him, and all these other things going on. Just so
video proof of him like beating up on people.
Yeah,
throwing
he's
chairs
always
at people.
like fighting people. Like,
getting arrested, choking.
You think he was Russell Crowe?
Choking women, like it's weird.
You think he was like Russell Crowe from like the early 2000s, where he's just fighting everybody, a la South Park in that one skit. He's just like he's just beating people up. But
yeah, there's a lot of factors that went into this, because there's people may not think it mattered, but it clearly did.
Like everything added up to this, like,
and also them announcing that, hey, we're gonna have a new universe. And in January this year, James Gunn saying, hey, this is what I'm gonna start with. And he kind of made this video before these movies came out this year. So I don't know.
It's like,
now in hindsight, maybe that wasn't the best idea, because maybe there's people that are like, well, then why am I going to watch these movies?
Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Like, if all these other movies were in some form of connected universe, and you're telling me that these next 3 or 4 won't matter because in a year or two you're going to start over, then why am I going to watch it? So that could have also been it. So it's like you add in these like 4 major issues, and then maybe people just didn't like the Flash character from the previous movies. They're like, I don't feel like watching that. Or people have just said, I'll wait for it to go on HBO Max or Max, whatever it's called.
The one to watch when this movie flops.
The one to watch. Or you could wait for it to be uploaded to Twitter. Which apparently a lot of people did.
Which
is nuts.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Like 2 million people watched it on Twitter?
Between 1 to 2 million people watched it.
So put 2 million
on
times $15 for movie tickets. So
would have added that to the.
Yeah, it's a lot of eyeballs that could have gone to the theater.
Yeah, that hurts. But I guess, with that being said, we all did watch the movie. So, we got a chance to really, we saw it in I think a Limax format. So it got a chance to, see in a big-ish screen, decent sound system. I think we got a good view of the whole thing at all overall. But I don't want to go down like a whole breakdown of everything in the movie, but like just really open it up to you guys for some of like your favorite moments, like things that you really enjoyed, whether it's just various scenes. I'll let you guys go right to it. Zach? Let's go, Zach.
My favorites
or stuff you like. Yeah, you don't have to go with just favorites.
I like spoilers, by the way. I don't know why we have to say that every episode, but full spoilers.
We said full discussion of The Flash, so it's implied, but let us say explicitly, there will be spoilers.
I mean, I know most of you haven't seen it, so go watch it and then go back.
Shots fired.
Or don't and listen to this. I don't know. Like, go
maybe
nuts.
This will get you to go watch it.
Yeah, we're gonna sell all them tickets.
All right, WB. Yeah, Warner Brothers, give it to us. All right, it's Warner Brothers Discovery. Anyway, go to Zach.
So I think I have a couple of favorite things. The first thing is a scene, or any scene that has Keaton in it as Batman. I think is pretty cool.
Yep.
I think they kept his character like well done. Like they did him well. I don't think they really butchered him, or as Marlon Brando would say, they murdered my boy. They massacred my boy.
No,
they didn't do it this time, or they didn't do it for this character. Thank you, Muschietti, for helping us out. And then I also really liked a lot of the humor in the movie. I think the humor was well done. You get a few chuckles out of a lot of the moments with Ezra, and when he's interacting with his Flashpoint
younger
version of
self.
himself, which is great. A lot of great moments there.
Oh, I cracked up at his roommates being the other like crime scene people, where that just kind of give him crap in this alternate timeline, and like the guys
That whole
talking about
sequence.
the whole sequence of like, oh yeah, Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future, and you're like, wait, what? Eric Stoltz? Where like obviously Barry, like, you know,
He's like, no, it's Michael J. Fox.
Like
the guy from Footloose?
the guy from
No, it's Kevin Bacon.
It's Kevin Bacon. You're the guy from Top Gun.
Top Gun.
The Gay Beach Volleyball Top Gun guy. Like you're like, oh, and then he starts realizing, oh, I messed up this timeline hardcore. So like that was cool. Like seeing the ramifications as how jacked up the timeline is. It was funny seeing his like the whole. I like the whole like, oh, I have to get you your powers, but he does it too early, and therefore like he transfers his powers over to his other younger self. All those scenes of him like getting used to his powers, and the fact that he's just like phasing through doors
Or learning,
Yeah, that was really good. That was a lot of fun.
When he ran too fast and like, you know, he's in the middle of the street.
He burnt everything and like created this whole like hullabaloo, and he randomly ran past Nicolas Coster-Waldau from Game of Thrones. That was another random cameo. We'll get some more cameos in a moment, but
Yeah.
Who, Jamie Lannister?
Jamie Lannister, yeah. The
Right, Zach?
Sure.
he's yet to see or understand anything we're talking about. No kidding. That was a lot of fun, yeah. But that ties into like the humor of it. Like when the ring comes out, the suit comes out of the ring, like in the comics. He's just like, what am I supposed to do?
He's like, I'm supposed to change in front of you?
Yeah, it's just like you do it in your super speed. Oh.
Then he starts quoting the black speech.
Oh, that joke was hilarious. He starts like quoting Lord of the
Like
Rings,
whispering, like saying.
like whoever wrote that.
when we were watching it, I saw you like, what?
I looked at Zach. I was like, you.
I saw you react, and I was like, was that what I thought?
That's what it was.
Yes.
What synergy? That was great. How about another spoiler, but the Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth. Batman is just like where he's just like.
Well, we got the whole
beginning
half
sequence.
the Justice League in that initial sequence.
Yeah, it was cool because it was like the fun version of seeing like most of the team together. And
Like what's happening
pretty cool,
after.
Yeah.
And you get Alfred.
I didn't like Batman's suit in that part. It looked really cheap or weird, but everything that happened.
It was more like
cool.
the gray blue from like the OG Batman animated series, but like in that like hulky Batfleck.
It looked like, because obviously it was like a whatever addition to his normal suit, but it just looked like he put some like
padding.
chest plates on his suit, and it looked really plasticky. I don't know, it was weird. But the whole motorcycle stuff was cool. Him like gliding around because he got blown up or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was legit.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
And the guy took forever to make the sandwich.
Yeah, that guy still did not make that
Like,
sandwich.
you don't rush the
It's
sandwich.
just like, thanks, buddy. He's like, you can't rush the sandwich. Like, yes, I can. Shut
Oh,
up.
it took him like 20 minutes.
Seriously. While, then we get the point where Barry is running, there's a collapsing building and Alfred's kind of walking him through everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm the Justice League janitor, guys. I just come here and fix and clean everybody's stuff.
And
That
then
was cool that they brought back Alfred.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons as Alfred, I think, is still a standout like decision from all that. That I was still like happy about. I was like, yay!
But then you get the baby shower.
The literal baby shower. Hey, but
And the dog.
and the dog. I want to eat the food. He's like, no, I need to eat this food. Did you guys see that? Apparently, like that whole baby shower sequence, like the babies are meant to look really weird like that.
No, I call BS.
Apparently, that's what Muschietti says.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
mean,
oh,
it's not going to be a real.
Yeah, I know,
I mean, they're not gonna
but-
be real babies, but
like
it's
just
like
very janky.
very-
looking.
Because I know he said. I think we're going to talk about this later, but I know he said the stuff within the
dome.
Speed Force
yeah.
was purposeful, and I can maybe understand that, and I'll say, okay, fine, I'll give that to you, that you wanted that specific
But outside
area.
of that-
But any other CGI in the movie No, it did not look like what the Speed Force looked like. So those babies looked like crap, like they were in the Speed Force. So to me, there's no excuse.
I mean, I'll give it to the babies one because it's not a real baby.
I know, but like, then don't do that sequence with babies falling. Like, it's so strange. Like the dog looked better than the babies. Like,
True.
And that dog still looked really weird.
Exactly.
That weird, the tongue out is like.
This was like
That very like Son of the Mask kind of.
Yeah.
Oh God, Son of the Mask.
I mean, the baby was kind of like Son of the Mask.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the
like,
baby too.
That was one of my complaints of this movie. It's just like PS2 graphics CGI, and like how long did they have this movie sitting
Probably
on the shelf, and they couldn't
like 3-4
they
years
couldn't
minimum.
put in like a little bit more money to fix CGI.
The best part of
It's
that
really
sequence was the nurse.
Yeah,
Oh my
when
God,
she
the
lands and
nurse-
she's freaking out.
It's like, it's like, you're good now. You experienced some trauma. You should go see a licensed therapist. You did it.
Yeah.
You survived. Yay! And then
Or
he's
the
like,
Justice League is trying to work on that. Or
yeah,
something.
exactly. It's just like, hey, we're trying to work on this, and then just
Don't call us for therapy.
yeah, we have our own issues.
Like overall, like the overall scene was fun, but it's just like we've seen like 3, maybe 4 other movies that have done super speed sequences, and I think all of those were done better than this one.
Like that.
So that's
one
my only
sequence.
issue.
Him running to Gotham was pretty cool looking, but
I liked the beginning when
Where
everything
everything kinda
stretches.
Yeah, it stretches
But
out.
then when they show him doing it, to me it looked really bad.
He's doing his-
the overshot. Where he's
Yeah,
running
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
like
it's
it to me. It was like it honestly looks better in the Flash TV show
I was
when
just
they're
going
running.
to say that the
Like,
show looked.
running through the streets when he's always like running against his enemy or whatever. That looked better than that
But
scene of him running through.
There they do it kind of fast motion almost.
But-
Here it's
but it's-
kind of like
but
a
the thing is, like-
slow with the.
right.
Yeah,
because he
it
didn't
was
do it
weird.
with the Speed Force. It's
Like,
like, he just
if-
run at a
I
normal
wish-
looking when he's actually
'cause
relative and all that.
That official not official initial first step when he like starts and then like everything like stretches, that was really cool, and I wish they kind of like kept that.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just went like they sort of kept it, but then it just
And then it was like,
it went to like
also
PS2
that
graphics. I was like,
but also
damn.
because they did it to like show how far he's going, but
It's
at
like,
the
I
same
get it.
time, it does look really
Yeah.
weird when you could have stayed in the whole Speed Force speed zone
So,
and then just
yeah,
make
it
it
was
look cool.
weird, man.
Because also that scene I thought was kind of funny when he's first like setting up and then you see the title logo come up and then it cuts away.
Yeah.
Like, the girl's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
That was
Is it a
cool. Like
picture?
that was legitimately okay. This is a cool way to start the movie. It's like it's stuff. Nope, not yet. And it's cool. Like
And,
there were
and then he does it again. Then the logo finally.
Mhm.
there were touches like that. Like helped the movie helped it out. That for sure in terms of keeping it accessible, entertaining, and like keeping that kind of like little eccentric note that Barry Allen has. Like that Ezra plays Barry. Like
exactly.
so that was pretty cool.
Like there might be people that maybe don't like this movie because they don't like the silliness, but they showed in the previous movies that his version of Barry Allen is like this. So it makes sense for his solo movie to be like more silly than the other DC movies. So like I don't have a problem with this movie being
And
very jokey.
and for this movie, they
Flash
did like
is-
a cool choice to add a even more immature version of himself.
And then he's realizing
He's-
like, damn, I'm
Yeah.
really
It's
that
like,
bad.
I have problems.
I'm
Yeah.
that bad.
I'm really annoying.
So he does kind of like go through some growth because of that,
yeah.
which was cool.
Yeah, because that's like a 10-year younger version of himself.
I don't know about 10.
Well,
He said he
'cause
was 18, right?
'Cause, yeah, Man of Steel was
And he's probably,
2013.
like, 20
This movie's 20.
He's probably like
23.
in late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so-
maybe because he was just like coming back from college, so he's like in college already. He's in an apartment or whatever.
It is cool that they do show off some stuff from like Man of Steel, like kind of going back where he was there during the events of it.
That was a cool little retcon where he's like, I actually tried to help someone, but like, just like I
Couldn't,
couldn't.
yeah.
I only saved the one kid, and it's just like I couldn't. Like that was like, damn, like that's cool. Like there's that whole Metropolis.
Oh no, that was the
attack.
father. He
He
saved
couldn't save the father. He saved the kid. He only saved one person. But it was cool to see that like Metropolis is like a focal point. Like they try to do that with BVS, where like
like
Gotham
it's
and
right on the
Metropolis
other
are so
side.
close, and he's just like, whoa, what's going on?
It's on the other side of the
He's
lake.
freaking out. And whereas then you have Barry, who legitimately is like, hey, let me actually go try and help. And it's like, oh wait, this is this is way above my head right now. And then you had Superman come and do his thing. So I like that. I like that little bit.
Zach, to answer your question, so Days of Future Past, the X-Men movie, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so There was one in that movie, and it was really good.
Oh,
The
okay,
slow
yeah,
motion scene in the kitchen.
Because I think
Quicksilver.
like it recently, but I mean,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Was it
got-
the kitchen or was it the prison that they used
Well-
to break out Magneto?
Yeah, it was the
That was
prison, but
9 years
it was
ago.
like in the kitchen, and he like put all the like
Yeah.
stuff in the kitchen, like
Yeah.
to hit the
There was also the one in Eternals, which like the fight
With
sequence
Makari? Dude,
with
the
Makari.
way she fought was
Hers was
legit.
so
yeah.
cool.
Like
so
that.
there's Makari, and then there's even the second X-Men movie or third one. Was it Apocalypse?
Apocalypse where he
Where
goes
he
to
goes
the-
and saves everybody in the house.
In the house.
Or no, I'm sorry, the
the
school.
mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was not as good as the first one, but it was still pretty good. And then
Yeah, because there were
DC
more
movies,
people that he had to like interact with, so everyone was kind of like CGI
Uh-huh.
and like the bulldog. Also,
I forgot
Pizza
completely
as well.
about the Makari one. So that's 3 with
Yeah.
Makari, and then
I don't remember that one.
and
We got
then
the Flash and Justice
the
League.
Flash and
That's
Justice
the
League.
one.
The Flash in if you go with the Snyder cut, the whole scene that they cut out with him saving Iris.
Oh yeah, okay,
That scene was great. And then at the end of Justice League, where he reverses time to not have Darkseid destroy everybody, like it just seemed like all those looked better. Like you can tell, like they put more care into those scenes. And then it's like, so we've seen it before, and then this one's like extra jokey, but it's like I don't mind the jokiness, but it's like, but your CG looks like crap.
Yeah, like give more care to this, the actual speed stuff. Which, going into like weirdly enough, I actually like the concept of the whole Chrono Bowl thing, where he's just like, oh, I'm now at these fixed points in time, and I can go like backwards and forwards, and kind of like Rolodex style to everything, and kind of jump into different points in the timeline. But that's where you literally had I'm gonna look through and have a floating disembodied head. That came out, which is kind of weird too, but like that part it worked. But other times, like
in Thor 4.
yeah, like like in Thor: Love and Thunder.
with,
It was bad in that movie too.
with
Yeah,
Axel.
with Axel. Yeah, I'm Axel. I'm so cool. But like the whole concept of the Chrono Bowl was pretty dope. I thought that was fun. But the whole like changing of the timeline. At first, you think he's slick. It's like, oh, what if I just
Change this one little thing.
what if I just give that little can of tomatoes in there so they don't forget it. So like you go back and 1, 2, 3, yeah, done. But it kind of ties into the whole thing of like everything's messed up. So he tries to give this Barry his power, the new Barry his powers, kind of like just like reluctantly, sort of like, hey, this is what you are, so you're gonna do, and then wild sort of hilarity ensues, sort of. Because like our Barry doesn't have his powers. The whole bit in the police station where he's trying to run and he's like, I don't what? And like
And he's running like with the
With the weird movement, and he's like,
the
nothing's
speed
yeah,
happening.
kind of
and the
movement.
music's still trying to play. He's just I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that was pretty damn funny. And then I like everything, like Anthony said, everything with Michael Keaton's Batman, Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne was pretty amazing.
I mean, we all agree.
Well,
with
yeah.
what Zach said.
Yeah, like
But they brought back the score from
Oh my God.
Keaton, which was so
good.
great to see.
that was cool. Like you see the gear, you see the Batmobile.
Oh, the best sequence was when they show like the bat plane or whatever
Batwing.
with the
Batwing.
moon, and you see
After
like
they like eject from it, and then like it flies up.
yeah, oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that looks
With the score playing in the background behind that
Yeah.
was
He's like, where's your parachute? And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna fly. And the weird thing, interesting callbacks were like this alternate Barry's. Like I remember seeing his chases on the news or like on TV, and you're like, whoa, okay, so like this Batman's definitely for sure been established.
Yeah.
And then that's where the Bruce Wayne's usually the smart guy in the room where he is explaining the whole concept of just like, yeah, well, instead of just like he's like, you probably saw a movie where there's a branching timeline. Well, it's actually, and he does the spaghetti. Analogy, which I thought was clever. Like I can put it
different
past
way
them.
to put it.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, see this spaghetti, you change this spaghetti now, it's intertwined with this spaghetti, and they're all intertwined by fixed points, and now you're changing the fixed points around. I was like, yeah, that's
so,
fair.
like, not just by affecting the future, but
And it also
affecting
to the past. Yeah, I was like, that's fair.
I did like how they show off with this Batman that he did kind of save Gotham, and now that there's no crime in Gotham,
He's just
technically
chilling.
he's just like,
Yeah, old Hermit Bruce.
he's
like,
not
I have
really-
none.
because himself is being Batman,
Yeah.
and he lost that pretty much.
What do you think about the kitchen fight scene? Yeah, because
Fun.
shaggy hair means you can hide the stunt guy in there.
He,
Which is pretty
he was
good.
beating up on our Barry,
Barry.
but since young Barry has the powers
Young Barry's
now,
like, I'm gonna
he's
dodge all this.
dodging him the pizza cutters and all that stuff. Knives and I think he threw a frying pan too. Right?
But then
Yes, he did.
that last one where Kian has the broom, and he just kind of like does this, and then he lands.
And he lands right into our Barry. Just, Oh no! He kind of lands and misses. Just he's like, what the hell?
He just crashes into the I don't know, it was like a pantry or whatever it was.
Not a dull waiter, but not the dull waiter.
They keep doing the thing where like he runs so fast that he kind of slips or trips almost.
Yep.
Like he's gliding kind of.
Yeah, I mean in this case because this new Barry is like too young. Is like
But yeah, he's figuring it all out.
young and
No
inexperienced.
yeah.
And then they realize like, okay, cool. Here's where this. And then it basically, long story short, is kind of like retelling a lot of what's going on with Flashpoint, which I thought was pretty.
Yeah.
It was. I thought to myself, how are they going to do it? But I think overall they did it well. Like the idea of bringing in Supergirl in this weird like Siberian mercenary place, like that was cool. Even though I think it was a little fast for her to be just like, oh, I don't care about humans, but Kryptonians, we're not just a warlike people, so I'm gonna fight Zod.
For a very brief moment, when they were going to Russia, I'm like, oh, are they going to pull like a Red Sun kind of thing going on? That would have been kind of cool.
That'd be interesting, but like that only works
But
if
not
the Soviet
maybe
Union
not
is
as
still
Henry
around.
Cavill, but
Yeah.
But have Supergirl, but then have like Superman, because I thought since he didn't exist or he wasn't in America, I guess in this timeline, that maybe they did they did the Red Sun plot where the Earth was like 12 hours different from when he actually landed
in Russia,
and he lands in Russia instead during like the Soviet era.
Exactly, but
And
instead
they're gonna have him like try to get back Kara for the Soviets.
Yep. But
that was
instead,
that would have been too
instead
crazy.
this Flashpoint, there's no Aquaman. Like the dude,
Yeah.
that was. I keep bringing up cameos, but like we bring up, the whole thing. Like, there's no Aquaman. Like Wonder Woman probably never left Themyscira, so it's just all like its own kind of thing. And cool to see, like he's in this. Michael Keaton's in the suit, but like. It's cool to still see that they got someone in there to still like show off Batman being a badass, even with like the classic suit. So it's cool seeing like
the hand-to-hand combat, like
a
those
lot,
flips and
the
like
flying,
the
the grapple, the batarangs being thrown everywhere
with the music.
With the music,
That's so cool, man.
it was basically like
that's what you wanted.
You wanted like from Batman and Batman Returns. You're just like. Man, like if we had like what was going on today to show off Batman, like this is what you'd get.
They brought back some of the things from the Batman movies because I had got to see Batman and Batman Returns right before watching this, and it caught some things that, like they brought back the Joker little
the little Joker bag. Yeah, I was like, why is this bag laughing?
Yeah.
And it was like
And then they had I think in one sequence when he goes like, oh, how much do you weigh? So they could shoot him up through the thing.
Yeah, how much do you weigh? Then boom. And then we get to the point where you have Kara Zor-El do her thing, which Sasha Kaya did a really good job. Only thing is, that's where you also had some weird CG again.
Yeah.
Like her flying around,
That whole
and,
sequence
like, murdering all those guys. I was just like, oh well, I guess.
Dude, it looked like
you
The
gotta
Matrix
do it.
2. And that movie came out.
Like the burly brawl part of Matrix 2
like,
is what
I
it
love
means.
I like The Matrix 2, but obviously the CGI is dated from that movie because it's 10 years old or more. 20 years old.
Matrix 2, yeah, it's like
Came out
20.
2003 or 4. So, yeah, like why is your CGI Supergirl look like that? Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like that was the sequence or not or anything, but I don't know, man. But like
budget.
I guess so. That was the part where
Because they can't say we didn't have enough time to finish the CGI. That can't be the
No,
excuse.
definitely
It's
not.
just straight up they didn't want to spend the money on it.
I mean, what I will say is the CG in the whole final sequence in the desert was better.
It was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was better. And then we got the whole idea of just like how, like, because of all the meddling in the timeline, like, we start getting this whole idea of just like no matter what you do, like, you can't save the world.
I like that
Which
part.
is kind of like what happened in Flashpoint in the comics or the animated movie. Whereas it's kind of like, no, the only way to fix it is to go back and, fix what you broke, basically.
And it's pretty crazy how in that universe Barry gets his powers like the day before Zod comes. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and so it almost kind of like makes sense where like that young Barry is doing that stuff, and then he's learning from our Barry, and they start tag teaming back again with like all the Speed Force Wombo combos, which is pretty cool.
The feetsies.
Yeah, the double runner stance off of the heels. The fact that like, oh, your suit's not whatever, you're conducting electricity, and he's just like discharging on all these fools, which was dope. I thought it was pretty cool.
The tornado.
Yeah, the tornado that he kept. They're like, oh, and then like the whole idea of just like, oh, Kara's dead, Batman's dead. Oh no, we gotta go back, and then we go back, and then like it was really crazy how like the whole idea he kept failing, and you see our Barry just looking like, we gotta stop. Like this is
it's bad. Just a loop.
Yeah, it's really just a loop.
This
He's
is
like, this is the fixed point that you can't fix. He's like, I can do it, and you start seeing that like that Barry like starts getting all deformed and messed up from all the times his suit gets degraded every time he's going back and back and back and back and back, and it turns out he's like the one dude that ended up knocking him out in the timeline anyway, and he's just like, yeah, I had to do that. So he's in the corner was like, I had to do that so I could make myself. I had to like create my own paradox, which time travel always gets fun. But like overall, like with all those sequences, I thought were really cool to kind of cement the whole idea of what all this stuff is, and it's interesting to see like if you're gonna do a thing with the Flash, and make it time travel, like make it that way or do it in this way. I think only downside is it would have been cool if there would have been some type of hint of the Reverse Flash being around there, because that's like that is the
enemy.
That's the ultimate.
Yeah,
he's the ultimate hater of
he's the reason why the Flash is the Flash.
Yeah,
I mean they hinted that like obviously that he's the one who killed.
Yeah,
the mom,
you see like Nora's death, like she got stabbed. You're like, what the hell? And then that was the whole idea because his dad is in jail for that murder, and even though there's a whole thing. I mean, so I like that. There's some of that.
Speaking of his dad, they straight up just replaced Billy Crudup.
Yeah.
Billy Crudup, yeah.
I mean, I think it was like scheduling conflicts with the morning show.
Morning show, yeah.
On Apple TV,
which he's good in.
He's also good in that other show that he's on called Hello Tomorrow. It's pretty good.
I actually watched that. It was pretty interesting.
Pretty cool.
I like the aesthetics of the show.
He's Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah,
the Watchmen movie.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
I mean, I guess if they're gonna end up
the voice or the
no, the
body,
body everything. Yeah.
No, someone else. I think
he didn't mocap. It's CGI.
Someone else does.
Yeah.
One of the other two.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna reboot this whole thing with James Gunn's plan, then eventually, if we do ever get another Flash movie, then hopefully at that point we finally get a live action Reverse Flash in the big screen.
Here's hoping. But so that point, I mentioned some of them, but Anthony, if you can, let's run down like some of the cameos that we get, both real live action and CG recreated cameos.
Oh man, we got like the George Reeves Superman. We got
Adam West Batman footage.
Batman. We got
this all happens in the
bomb.
The bomb.
The old. We got old Supergirl. Like they had a bunch of old Superman.
Is that Supergirl and Super? Because that was another
Christopher Reeve Superman, and then
they showed both.
There was a Superman.
They showed and then that was Helen Slater as.
They showed multiple old Superman. They showed Christopher Reeves, George Reeves. I think they even showed
George Reeves.
Yeah.
Related to.
No.
Oh.
It's just coincidental.
Yeah.
I even think they showed. I think they might have even shown the Ben Affleck version from when he played George Reeves
in
the movie, The Black Dahlia. I think that was the movie.
But now the Supergirl, is that from like I don't know, Superman 4?
She had her own movie.
Okay, she had her own.
Yeah, Helen Slater had her own movie. But yeah, like this whole thing happens when like there's so much going on that like they end up starting to break multiple realities. Like it's not just like this timeline that's breaking, but now it's all these other universes.
Multiple of them like start to come in.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish there was they showed more of the animated universes, but that's different.
Earlier when Barry was like trying to find out if any of the other Justice League members were in this universe, he's like looking the internet or the phone book, and he's like, "Let me look up Arthur Curry's dad," and we get Boba Fett.
We get Tamara Morrison
making the cameo,
just living his life.
Do you live with
a hot Atlantean queen and had like a child with? He's like, dude, shut up! Like he just hangs up.
It's Leo.
We had Alfred show up. Gal Gadot showed up as Wonder Woman. Let's see.
I'm surprised that they didn't throw Jason Momoa in that scene, even though they then showed him at the end.
I mean, they might have. We probably just didn't see it.
Maybe it was just cut, but you still had the.
They showed older versions of the Flash.
Except for the CW Flash.
Yes,
which
correct.
they could have easily...
Because they had Ezra in the show,
man.
just they didn't do it.
Apparently, I've read that he did shoot something and it just didn't make the movie.
Damn.
That's unfortunate.
That's even more disrespectful.
They did shoot something
Disrespect.
for the show, so...
I don't know.
I would be great if they, when they release this on DVD, if they had just all the deleted scenes.
They should just
And
whatever
behind
the
the scenes.
4-hour version of this movie is. It should just be the Flash cut or whatever director's cut.
Yeah. Even
I'll
if
watch
there's
the 4-hour
unfinished
movie.
CGI, let the unfinished
Oh, I
CGI be
mean,
there.
we watched unfinished CGI. So
Well, yeah. Got him.
So what was this guy's name? Teddy Sears as Jay Garrick, like his version of Flash.
But
Okay,
no, like,
yes,
well,
that I do remember.
the real Jay Garrick, not remember because Teddy Sears. If you guys have seen the Flash show, that's actually
like
Zoom,
Right.
Not
Spoilers.
But apparently there was some debacle on Twitter where he says like, "Oh, it wasn't me.
Because
Like
the
I
guy
never
looks
filmed
like
it."
him. Because that guy looks like him with the OG
because
Flash.
it's probably
helmet.
just CGI.
Yeah.
That was not that actor.
Yeah,
That
but
was
people
not that
thought he
bad.
was, but he had to
Oh.
go up and say, like, I would have remembered going to a studio and filming this.
So it's like a mix, like some CGI version.
Generic white dude looking like the Flash running.
Yeah, because I thought maybe they pulled it out of like an old show or a movie. I thought maybe like the
it was black and white.
the 1990s Flash, maybe. Like,
No, but the 1990s Flash had the Flash suit.
no, I know, but I'm saying like maybe
the red suit.
Because I don't know if I never watched the show, but I don't know if maybe there was a Jay Garrick version on that show somewhere. But I guess they just put out a generic.
He went
random.
zoom.
Just could have done better on that one.
Yeah, Supernova Girl.
And we even get to like some of the more wilder, the more wild cameo.
Nicolas Cage.
We had it was CG Christopher Reeve and CG Hans Slater, and then it was CG Superman with long hair fighting a giant spider, and it turned out like to be freaking Nicolas Cage. That whole sequence, I'll full disclosure, I saw this happen. I was like, "There's no way that's Nicolas Cage." Like I was like, "Please
It's
don't
not.
do that."
And you guys were saying
It wasn't.
You guys were saying like I heard you guys saying like oh the giant spider,
Yeah.
because of the whole like pitched movie from like many years ago.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a real movie. That Nicolas Cage is going to be Superman in a Tim Burton Superman movie
Was
called
that gonna
Superman
be-
Lives. It was going to be called Superman Lives.
Was that going to be like a crossover with the Batman?
I don't know. Maybe eventually
No.
if they continued,
It
but I don't
wasn't.
know.
It's basically what it was. Basically, I forget the name of
Just
that.
because of like same director and stuff. But
John Peters, that's his name. So that guy, John Peters,
The
really
producer.
wanted
The producer.
that producer really wanted a
The
giant
villain
spider
to
in
be
this
a
movie.
giant spider.
Yeah, he's just like there
the
has to
executive.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah. be like he's just like he needs to fight a giant spider in the third act, and this is like he's a Thanagarian snare beast, but he's like, no, I want a spider. It's just like no. And then Kevin Smith left when Tim Burton came to direct his Batman '89 director, wanted to write his own story, and then other stuff came in, but then they shut it down after a string of film flops, including Batman and Robin. But it would have been interesting. I always think about that. I think, what if we actually have gotten, Nicolas Cage as Superman
With long hair.
with long hair, like the long hair from like Death and Returns Superman from the comics. That's what it kind of seems like. But instead, we got Brandon Routh with Superman Returns, which also got no love, which made me sad. But whatever. That whole
Which he
sequence
did also
is-
show up in the Arrowverse.
Oh, the crisis.
And he came back as Superman in the Arrowverse in one of the
one of the crossovers. That's
Cameos.
correct.
And he's also just the actor is in another Arrowverse show.
the Atom.
Yeah.
He's Adam throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, he's the Atom, but then in one of the
The crisis of
Infinite-
crisis on Infinite Earth.
Infinite Earth's Crisis, he was the Superman that was like, hey, I'm still a good Superman, but like,
Yeah.
I went through some bad stuff, but kept my kept the goodness, which was nice because a lot of people just like to see Superman turn bad for no reason.
And
But,
I'm watching through all the Arrowverse stuff now, rewatching it.
Oh, have fun with Legends.
And I actually like
Legends is so bonkers that you just have fun with it. That's all you gotta do. Anyway,
I find it like one of the funnier of the shows. It's
yeah,
great.
it kind of sticks to it. There's less of the CW melodrama in that.
Yes, that's true.
But we got all those crazy cameos, and then we get the final stinger, which I remember the theater kind of popping out for. even though it kind of
So random.
is random. But out of all the Batman, we realize that, oh wait, he fixed the timeline, and we don't get our Batfleck that he's used to.
Oh.
We get the one, the only, the Bat card carrying Batman,
The Cloons.
George Clooney. I thought he was gonna whip out the credit card again. I would have been like, dude, I'm done.
Well, this happened because towards the end he put the can on the
can
top
away.
shelf.
Yeah, he put it
so
away.
that you could see him in the camera. So I guess everything changed after that point.
Yeah, because then his dad was free again.
But remember, it also affects the past.
The past, true, yeah. So that was a good.
Yeah, we skipped the whole nice scene between him and his mom.
Oh, I'm not gonna skip it.
We'll get that.
Oh,
together
yeah.
after that.
That was a very beautiful scene too. It's like, do you want a hug? And he's like, oh, yeah. So that was also really nice. Like again, there were times where like the human, the emotion stuff was really there. Like a lot of the stuff with Batman coming out, just like, hey, I'm gonna do one last ride because you look like you need help, and I'm still gonna help you out. Supergirl realizing like, hey, this still means hope, so I'm gonna go and do my thing. So it's like, hey, these are characters still sticking to.
Well, the
roots.
Flash,
Is dope.
especially in like Flashpoint and all these things, they always had that like the son and the mom like relationship, and that's always been like the hit hard force.
Yeah, because it's just like,
emotional.
you can always see her in the past, but she lives there. You can't go back and save it all. It's rough. I was like, damn, that hurts. And then you even get the whole idea because that this young Barry has to paradox kill himself so that future black racer Barry can't exist to screw all this stuff up in the first place.
Yeah.
Basically, like has to like own that up too. That was wild, and it makes you realize that damn, like that junk's gotta happen. Yeah, some even with all the light, we talk about the jokiness of it and the weird CG, but there's still like some really good emotional beats. I'll say that much at least. It's pretty cool.
What did he say that he was stuck in that like trying to fix it like so many years?
I don't even remember.
Probably
if
didn't
he
even
said-
register to him how long it's been.
Yeah,
it's just
like, he's
you
done
can tell
so
just
many
by
times.
his body and like how
Yeah.
messed up he is.
Yeah, I
the
don't think
form.
he really said an exact number. He just said he's been doing it for so long.
Yeah, it's just like I've just been trying so long. I think I finally got it figured out. I think I can do it. It's like no, like, buddy, it's got to stop, please. But
I just didn't like how quickly that
resolved.
It was just like they show him, he's explaining what he's doing, and then the other one's realizing, oh crap, like I can't let him complete this because that's me. And then if I kill myself, then he dies, and then boom, and then it was done. I was like, wow, that was like a 2-minute conversation.
That was jarring.
And that
because
was
we need to fit all these
the
cameos.
third act of this movie.
Yeah, we need to
Damn.
fit all these cameos.
And one other part that I really liked was when Keaton Batman was one of those death scenes.
Mhm.
He goes on and like, oh, you saved me or something like that. Like it was very
Yeah, sort of
Doesn't he
like
like
brought me back or
but doesn't he realize that like this isn't like the first time this has happened at some point? And then I think that's when he was like he's like, leave it alone, like I'm gonna die anyway.
Yeah, he's like, no, yeah, don't stop it. Like we have to end this thing.
which was a cool way for him to
Yeah, and even
be
when like he
Batman.
fought the big dude, like, and then he just blew him up with all those pieces.
Yeah, he was like crawling on.
Yeah,
him,
just like bomb explosion. He's like, that's kind of dope. Like that was pretty damn cool. So like the first time he went out, I was like, oh, he just crashed into that. I was like, dude, it has shields. What are you doing? But also, it was like at the other time, I was like, okay, like these are other like cool ways to go out.
And then in terms of some of the other cameos that didn't make it, apparently the ending scene was supposed to have Keaton and Kaya as Supergirl, but then they changed it, and then apparently one other version was supposed to have Henry Cavill come back after the whole Black Adam thing. And then they changed it again, and then that's when we got George Clooney.
There was a strong rumor that they were trying to get for months to get Christian Bale.
Yeah, and he
And he
declined.
declined.
Which, good for him.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught in this debacle.
He has said many times like
I'm not
I'll only
gonna
do it if Chris
it's-
Nolan comes
If
back.
it's good. Yeah, I'm not going to only do it unless it's good. I mean, I'd be remiss to kind of
I'm
count out
surprised
my
Clooney
guy.
did it.
Yeah, but I will be remiss if I don't count out my guy, Michael Shannon.
Yeah,
Like, he was just there.
Job.
Obviously, he's there going through the motions, but whatever. We got Michael Shannon. I forgot the actress that plays Feora, but she's back. Whooping ass, doing great stuff.
I mean, it
Oh, you saw her in the
shows-
background just like whooping through all those dudes. Like, that was dope. I was like, oh man, that's Like you see it, it's like
It was cool, but it was like, but the CGI looked better than of Steel, and that movie's 10 years old. It was like, come on.
It was. Cool
I know I'm being a stickler about this, but it's frustrating. It's annoying.
It was cool to see how, like, with Zod, even with Batman and Supergirl, like, they can't take him down. Like, it's only Superman that can take him
Superman
down.
is supposed to take.
So at least it didn't, like, detract from, like, Henry Cavill's Superman.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just mad in general that, why is there not a Superman in this movie? It's Supergirl. Oh, you're replacing everything with a woman superhero.
They explained it in the plot. It's
if you watch the movie, it's like, well,
that pod got lost.
She wasn't good enough. She wasn't strong enough for this.
She only started accessing the sun to kind of do her stuff, whereas Superman lived on Earth for so long.
Yeah. Like, I like that. That was kind of like the mind game, where it's like you have that big action scene, you think this is going to be like the hero moment, and then it's like, No, everything's unraveling all of a sudden, and
it's like,
everyone starts dying. You're like, wait, what?
And you're like, no, it's supposed to work, and then he tries to do his own thing, and he gets everything.
Damn, so Zod is really just gonna like take over this world,
take over the planet. Yeah.
When they did it the first time, I'm like, oh, it's okay, they're gonna go back in time. But then when they did it the second time, I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna keep happening.
This needs to stop. Yeah, like we got to go back and fix the main point you fixed.
And that they kept re-showing what do they call it? The
chronable thing.
The machines that lift people up in the air, and then the generators,
like
what do they call them again?
The terraforming stuff. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know, but
the world engine.
The world engine. Yeah,
damn,
that's always nuts, man.
Yeah,
every time when they show that, like people floating in the air and then
slam, you're like, oh
damn,
no,
man. That's a
rough
way to go. And then even like if you're just there looking at it, you're like, wow, I'm next. Like it's just like a crazy thing to witness.
But I mean, I think with this whole like it ending with George Clooney, at least with this cameo, at least seeing or hearing about what the other ones were, it just kind of shows like that's it with this 10-year run of
end of the 10
DCU.
years.
Yeah, I think the Keaton one would have been like because they were probably going to continue on with Keaton in future movies, like with
Cavill
like Batgirl, but
or Batman Beyond.
They shelved Batgirl.
They wanted to make Batman Beyond, but because this was didn't do too hot, they're like, nope.
That's not fair, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like
that's not fair.
I would. It would be perfect to see Michael Keaton as an older Bruce Wayne and have a Terry McGinnis in the future.
I feel like they should still do that. They should still do that. But apparently they said like they were hinging on this movie to see if they wanted to do a Batman Beyond. They're like, oh, I guess not.
Can't they understand that everybody liked
Keaton was
as Batman.
Like the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
and he's only in like the last quarter of the movie.
But like 2 movies were based on like this movie getting a certain box office, which I'm sure they knew it wasn't going to get there, so they were just saying to like try to hype.
Yeah, we're going to do this and sort of like hold the idea hostage.
I feel like if James Gunn really wanted to do a Batman Beyond movie, he could just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if he wanted to, get Michael Keaton back as Bruce Wayne. It's not going to be confusing at all. But
it's just weird because then
now you also have the Matt Reeves Batman and the Joker.
But he said then just make it an Elseworlds. Elseworld Batman Beyond.
Elseworlds.
Matt Reeves one is an Elseworld.
Doing Elseworlds projects. Like why not?
And that's why some people who are like the diehard Snyderverse people were like, well, why don't you just make the Snyderverse also Elseworld, and then continue with the Snyderverse. No, and or at least like try to finish it. Like that's what people want. They want at least like a better conclusion, because for a while people thought that this movie might have been the conclusion, and it clearly wasn't. It was kind of like a open-ended.
It's like it did movie. Finish it. Technically, but
yeah,
not really. At least not satisfyingly enough to me. People thought it would be like a whole erasing of certain things, but no, it's just like he's just stuck
in another multiverse,
and so that's probably why you're not going to see Ezra Miller again. So it's like cool. That's like your way of saying we're not going to work with Ezra Miller again.
We're not going to have Ezra Miller. We're not going to bring back.
But it doesn't really close off Gal Gadot. It doesn't close off.
But then you have an ending cameo with Ezra and Aquaman.
Yeah.
Like.
Which then, you have Arthur, Jason Momoa show up, and they're just like, hey, we're still going to hang out and drink. Wait. And, he's explaining everything that happened, and he's like, oh, really? That's weird.
So we got Blue Beetle and Aquaman
But was that in the same universe as Clooney, or was that another universe?
I'm assuming.
That's his universe. That's the same the same timeline that he's supposedly fixed, but it's still
because he could just keep doing that and see different results, right? keep
Yeah, but
like
then he's gonna
changing.
go through the whole like I'm gonna change it again. I'm gonna break the timeline and break the reality.
So technically, then Aquaman 2 is going to be in this universe. Then technically,
yes. So where George Clooney is Batman.
so we'll see how like what cameos come up in there. But then, does that end this DCEU?
I have no idea.
We don't know. I don't think we'll
it's so
know until
confusing.
we see it.
They should have just announced a whole new DCU after Aquaman because they have such a gap in between.
And they should-
Yeah, it's a
just-
whole year gap.
And they
Yeah.
should have had all these movies come out like a lot sooner, and then make the announcements.
yeah. So
Well, I mean,
Or at
the
least
thing
do
is,
it
you
like this.
couldn't. Like, it's
Yeah.
impossible because since he's writing and directing, and they just announced that he's the boss, like in what, November or October of last year.
Danza was the boss.
Is he though?
But
No,
next year
definitely
you do
not.
have
He's not the
Joker
boss.
coming out.
Right.
So that will kind of like
And that
hold
was
it off.
already-
but that was already its
already
own thing.
being
Yeah.
made.
They're just
And I don't know when the Batman #2 is coming out.
the Batman
2025
Returns,
or something.
not Batman
We'll see.
Returns. The Batman.
The
Returns.
Batman, the Pattinson
But-
#2.
Definitely, the announcement should have probably have been after
Yeah, because
Aquaman.
he did it in January this year. It's like you could have just waited January of next year.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying these movies would have done so much better, but they probably would have done
A little.
a chunk better. For sure, I think Shazam would have done better, and then the Flash probably would have done slightly better. Just Shazam didn't have the baggage that the Flash did.
It's just the Flash had a lot of baggage.
Yeah, a whole lot. Yeah.
I'm not saying Shazam was amazing, but Shazam was
It was
pretty
fun, man.
fun, decent
It was a
movie.
movie.
Like it wasn't
Freaky unicorn.
a movie where I would say it was crappy. Don't pay money to go see it. And it's like because nobody. went
Dude,
to go
that
see movie.
sequence with Billy dreaming, and then he's like dreaming on a date with Wonder Woman,
That
but
was-
then it's the magician's
that was funny.
face.
That was funny.
That was great. Billy Preston. That's so good. It's awesome.
Better CGI than the Flash.
Gosh, freaking great. All right, so with that, I think we tie it up. If we're gonna kind of like, I don't know if we're just like, where would you guys, I guess, put this movie in terms of like with some of these other ones that are there? Like,
Of the
Like the entire
DCEU.
DCE
Of the extended-
so
I don't
far?
know if I would put it. We're not gonna rank all the DCEU
No.
movies. We definitely don't.
Why
But
not?
More like
do
a
it.
generalization. Like, oh,
I
it
guess we could do
belongs-
that at the end
yeah,
of the
is
year.
it good?
In
The
this-
middle.
Maybe after
After
Aquaman comes
yeah.
out, then
do
we
a
can rank the
DCEU
DCEU.
in review,
Yeah.
or something like that. Just like
DCEU in review.
DCEU
In review. That's it. It rhymes. It
in
works.
flux. I don't know.
But yeah, where would you guys put it?
I'll put it in the middle. I mean,
Yeah, it's middling.
it's fun, but
It's
like
no Aquaman.
I just I'm a stickler for the CGI. You can't spend this much money on a movie and just like not have it up to par. Like we've had too many superhero movies in the past 15 years that show you like this is what a superhero movie should look like, and then this one just kind of looked like crap. So they did a good job with the scenes where Ezra Miller is with himself because it looked believable that he was with a younger version of himself. Maybe that's where they put their money. But yeah,
Yeah, I'd say so too.
I just put it somewhere in the middle, just because like as a like total movie, I still like some of the other movies more. I like Man of Steel is awesome.
Yeah, I don't. It's not close to like Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. At least for me. Like, but
Yeah,
Even like the new Suicide Squad, I
Yeah.
really like that
yeah,
one a lot.
I like the new one a lot.
I think the Snyder Cut was an awesome movie, even though it's 4 hours long. But
ish hours long. Yeah.
everything in that movie to me is like the only thing I would say is that this movie was like obviously more lighthearted and fun, but to me the Snyder Cut's a better overall movie. It's just like
Well, we got 14 movies in the DCEU,
really wow.
which then I guess
I think the
Aquaman
only
will
one I
be
haven't
15.
seen. The only one I haven't seen is Birds of Prey.
It's good.
Okay.
It's fun. I like that one.
Yeah, I hear it's a pretty solid movie,
Yeah.
but I just have not been
And
able
then
to.
there's Suicide
Come
Squad
on,
and then
see it.
the Suicide
These-
Squad. Do we also count Peacemaker in that? We
Well,
should.
it's a show
Sure.
that's in canon.
So yeah, Peacemaker's top tier. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that right now. Peacemaker. If you have not
But
seen,
but then we're
Peacemaker's
getting
top tier.
Peacemaker season 2.
Good,
Yeah, man, because
that's his
but
stuff.
Because he's like, whatever
It's
I
mine.
make is fine,
Don't
even
ask
though it's
questions.
confusing.
Don't ask.
Oh yeah,
questions.
Amanda Waller's
Peacemaker's great.
back, same actress.
Yeah.
It's not confusing at all. It's like what?
She's good.
But they
I
did,
know she's good. She's awesome.
they did kind of show off with
Peacemaker's
this,
awesome,
like, you know, the
but-
multiverse could have same person look-alike
Same persons.
as in different universes.
That's how they're gonna explain. We're gonna keep Jason
That's where they're
Momoa.
gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else is gone. No Gal Gadot, no Ben Affleck, but we're gonna keep Jason Momoa.
All depends if
Just
this
to
movie
do
does
it.
well.
No, I don't think so. I think
I just think it needs a hard reset, but
There we go. I mean,
that won't happen.
we'll see.
But
Yeah, maybe like blank slate kind of.
it's like a 75%
Earth.
reset right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Scorched Earth.
we also suggest to watch the animated movie of the Flashpoint Paradox
Yes.
because that's excellent.
That was really good.
It's great.
I also, well, this is a random side note, but Warner Bros. Is coming out with that Adventures of Superman show that's coming out. I like the art style; it looks really cool.
Oh, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's a
With,
cartoon.
nice.
It has what's his name from The Boys? Huey.
Oh,
Dewey?
No. What's
Louis?
this guy's name?
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid is Superman.
Quaid.
Yeah.
but that's like on Adult Swim.
It'll be on Adult Swim, but also on Max. The one to
So
watch.
it's canon.
Is it a comedy like Harley Quinn?
No, it reminds me more of an anime, like a shonen anime, where like
but
you
it's
have.
canon.
Like
To the
no, it's
to
just
whatever.
it's just a
no,
new
it's just
show.
a cartoon. It's just a new show. Like deal with it. It's fun. It looks cool. Like early reviews are out, and apparently it's really good. But so I'm excited for it. Also because I like Superman a lot. But that should be fun.
Last thing I'll say about the DCEU, which makes it even more confusing. HBO, Max should have.
We're just gonna keep calling it HBO
Yeah.
Max. This is
their
Max
fault, that's their
should
fault. It's their
have,
fault.
just
one-
like how Marvel and Disney Plus has it, where you could watch it in order, or
Oh, God.
you could find all
Max
the
has it-
it's
DCEU
out of order.
movies. They have their
just-
no, there's no
structure
order.
is
It's
so
just
bad.
hodgepodge.
It's just like
Yeah.
thrown in
It's just
there.
like DC
Yeah.
movies.
So like, oh, all
It's
the
been like that
movies that have
since-
Superman, the ones that have Batman,
Yeah.
or
That's
oh,
been
watch
like
them in
that since
timeline
May.
order.
Since,
Well, it's
like,
been like
when
that
it came
since
out.
it came
Since it
out.
came
Yeah,
out.
so trash.
Just watch.
Get it fixed.
Yeah, and I guess watch Young Justice. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
which is also
because Disney's marketing is a little bit better. Actually, a lot better
good. A lot better.
for their streaming
It's
service.
more better.
It's much more better.
It's much more better.
More better. Alrighty, guys. Having a little pivot to it. So that is our rundown of The Flash. Again, if you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch, even considering the dodgy CGI. But next week, we're going to go back to our recommended watch list that we've been our watch list series, I should call it. Next up, Anthony had recommended one of the greats in great blockbusters of our time, a seminal change in how movies are made. And one movie made by Steven Spielberg came out, 1992?
Three.
Sorry, 1993. That is a Jurassic Park.
A classic.
Till next time, everybody, hold on to your butts, because it's going to be a really fun episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you saw The Flash and you're listening into this, go ahead and reach out to us on our social medias. We've got Twitter and we've got our Instagram polls on Popcorn Watchlist. Reach out, see what you guys thought. We'll go ahead and keep the discussion going over there, okay, guys? Thank you so much again for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Bye bye.
The Flash.